introduce myself. My name is Ho. H to the O-V. I used to move snowflakes by the OZ.
Hello, fans of all ages. We are indeed the Beasts of the East. Ronnie Morick and Scott Thompson here with you on this Monday, October 19th, 2015. Beasts of the East, WRPR 90.3 FM, Ramapo College Radio, coming to you live from Studio A here at Ramapo College of New Jersey in Mahwah, New Jersey. And wouldn't you know it, the New York Mets are 2 wins away from their first World Series appearance since 2000.
Wow. That's just wow.
That's awesome.
I love it. I love it right now. The Mets are on fire. The Mets fandom is insane. We're seeing Met shirts all over the college. We see some, I don't know, it's just a lot of fun to watch them on TV right now. It's a lot of fun to watch Mets baseball, and we haven't had to say that in a while.
Oh, yeah. And let's rewind back to, I think the date was July 28th when they were playing the Padres. They were up 7-4.
Mm-hmm.
2 outs, top of the 9th. Rain comes pouring in the top of the 9th inning. 30-something minute delay. You come back, 2 base hits, and then Justin Upton ties the game up with the home run. They wind up taking the lead later on. No, they took the lead with that home run. Excuse me. They were up 2. And when that happened, we all said, "This is it." Only the Mets.
Only that would
trending.
happen to the Mets. Yeah.
The phrase "only the Mets" was trending on Twitter. And when that happened, we all said to ourselves, "This is it. The Mets are done." And then they became a completely new team. Obviously, it all starts with Yoenis Cespedes. But now you have Daniel Murphy, who has been absolutely incredible. You have Curtis Granderson, who I really want to talk about soon, who really has done an amazing job. David Wright looks like he finally broke out of his shell last night. Dewitt is still struggling a little bit, but even d'Arnaud hit that bomb. The rotation is obviously the reason why they're in the position they're in right now. And then they have DeGrom going tomorrow night up 2-0. This team went from the laughingstock in the league to a World Series, to 2 wins away from the World Series in the matter of 3 months.
It just shows you how a streak, just a hot streak, they're looking to me like the Giants last year.
Yeah.
Like coming into the postseason, they weren't that good, but they were absolutely stellar in the postseason. And the Mets are just chugging along, picking up wins, facing pitchers like Clayton Kershaw and Zach Greinke and Jake Arrieta last night, and just showing that I can hit you. Throw whoever you want. We can hit. We can persevere. The Mets are just doing a great job at persevering right now in the postseason.
Have you seen the Daniel Murphy stats? They've been unbelievable.
Yeah.
First of all, last night's home run. This thing's incredible. It left the bat at 91 miles an hour.
Okay.
Less than 1% of baseballs are home runs with an exit velocity that fast or slow, the lack thereof, the lack of velocity. He has never hit 5 home runs in a calendar month. He has 5 home runs in 7 postseason games.
Really?
Yes. What else? And the people who he's hitting these home runs off of, Kershaw twice, Greinke, Arrieta last night, and Lester. I mean, you want to talk about a time to get hot.
Those are aces right there.
Aces, and this guy's a free agent, and we're not going to harp on next year because the Mets should not be worried about next year.
No.
You have to worry about right now. You're worried about Daniel Murphy when the season's over. Don't worry about that right now. But he's making his case for a very, very nice contract.
Absolutely. He's batting .429 right now, Ryan. His OPS is 1.786. The closest guy to that is Curtis Granderson, who has an OPS of 7.08. I mean, .708, excuse me. So just look at that. This guy is batting, 4th in the lineup, I think, right now? Or third or fourth?
Murphy has been in the 3-hole.
In the 3-hole.
They intentionally walked Daniel Murphy to get to Yoenis Cespedes.
Wasn't he in the 8-hole or 7-hole?
Probably.
At some point this past few months? I mean, it's insane how this guy is like the Madison Bumgarner of the New York Mets, just
pretty much
killing it.
And the difference between I thought about that comparison the other day. Madison Bumgarner has proven himself that. I mean, Daniel Murphy is a good hitter. Let's be real. He batted .289 last year. He was top 20 in the National League last year in batting average. But he's not a power hitter by any means. He has 60 career home runs. He has 5 in 7 games. He has 5 home runs in 7 games. And we got someone calling in early. And hello, what's your name? Where you from?
How you doing? I'm Nick from Arizona.
I know you. What's up, Smitty?
What's up, Smith?
What's up, buddy? I want to talk about Daniel Murphy's performance.
Go ahead, buddy.
Postseason.
Go ahead.
I can't help but draw comparisons to Alex Rodriguez in 2009. I don't know about you, but
Wow.
That's a good one.
I like that,
That's
though.
a good one, Smith.
I mean, like the guy. I feel like every time this guy gets up the bat, he's gonna hit a home run.
Yeah.
Great for baseball. Great for baseball. But I also want to talk about the attempt of the worst play in NFL history.
That was god awful. I switched to that game last night, Nick, at the exact time that happened, and I shut it off.
You have to. It's just an embarrassment to the NFL. So when there's one lineman and you have 3 defensive linemen, do you decide to hike the ball because you think you can escape 3 people or no?
I want to know. Apparently, they were working on this play for a year. Apparently, they were working on this play. And I wanted, like, when did they realize that this was a good idea, A? B, why was the punter the one snapping the ball?
Dude, I think the one snapping the ball is the punter. And
I'm going to watch it right now.
The guy receiving it was Whalen, I think. Griff Whalen, I believe.
Yeah. That was I think that is... I'm not going to go with the worst play in NFL history. I think the worst play in NFL history was when the Giants handed it off and then Herm Edwards took it back for a touchdown when all they needed was a QB kneel. That the miracle of the Meadowlands.
That one hurts. The Eagles-Giants play tonight, I don't want any of those type of memories while this game is on. But, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Anyway, how could you even line up like that and get an illegal formation if you practice the play for over a year?
I know.
You don't know the rules?
Even if it worked, it wouldn't have worked.
Exactly.
Because it was an illegal formation. And I don't know the rules of illegal formations, but...
Wait, you're serious? I just watched this again right now.
It's bad.
You got to be joking.
It's bad. It's like the longest yard. It's like, remember the play?
You have 3 defensive linemen coming at your punter, first of all. Your punter could just get hurt on that.
The punter who is snapping the ball. The punter isn't allowed to be touched, and you decide to have him snap the ball.
I don't see where it even makes sense.
I don't see where, it's not logical, really.
Just fire your special teams coach and get a new one.
People are comparing this to the butt fumble. And what's worse?
Oh, the butt fumble is absolutely a great play compared to that.
And here's why. Because the butt fumble was an accident. This was the play call.
Exactly. This is the plan of the Colts right now. Oh, my God.
Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Pagano's got to go.
It's funny because 3 years ago, this team rallied behind Pagano with the cancer and everything, and he was probably one of the coaches of the year, and now everyone wants him to be fired.
I mean, they can't beat the Patriots. It's, like, embarrassing.
Well, the Patriots are probably the best team in the league. So.
Okay, but you can't beat them once? Come on. They get blown out every time. Last night wasn't really a blowout because of Brady pick 6, but...
Yeah, well, maybe look at the Jets this upcoming Sunday, so we'll see what happens there.
Yep.
See what happens there. Yeah, and I think Andrew Luck just looks inaccurate to me.
People were saying that he might be hurt.
It's a different Andrew Luck right now. He looks scared. He's not poised in the pocket. This isn't the Andrew Luck we've seen these past few years.
Right now, I agree with that. What do you guys think on the Giant game tonight? Let me hear some scores.
My score, honestly, I'm going to go 21-20 Giants. I think it's going to be a very, very close game, but I really do think that the Giants are going to edge it out. I think I can see Eli having another fourth-quarter drive.
I can't help but flash back to last year when we went into Philly and got killed, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same exact situation. Yeah. Week 6, Monday Night Football, Giants were 3-2, and then Cruz goes down with the injury, and then they get blown out. It's the same exact situation.
But I don't think that Chip Kelly still has his team back on track after a game against the Saints.
I don't want to say back on track, but I do think this is a trap game for the Giants.
I'm nervous about DeMarco Murray. Devin Kennard's out.
Me too.
So,
the Giants are notorious for not playing well in Philly. Monday night, Philly's going to be pumped. They're going to be wild as usual. I think the Eagles win. I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants lost, if the Giants won, obviously, because I do think the Giants are the better football team. But I would not be surprised. I do think the Eagles are going to win. Score, I really have no idea. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a low-scoring game. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a high-scoring game because the Giants' pass defense is a joke. Their fourth-quarter defense is a joke. And Eli's coming off of probably one of the best games of his career last year. And we all know he can do it again because Eli is. But I mean,
if you think about it, who is really, other than Jordan Matthews, going to really pose a giant threat?
Prince Amukamara is out.
Doesn't matter who it is. If there's one guy in the second, the Giants secondary can't stop anyone. So
Cromartie has shown that he can.
Marcus Cromartie is. Their corners are very good. Their corners are very good. The one thing about Landon Collins is that he doesn't cover very well, but he does tackle very well. He reminds me of Terrell Thomas. Not much of a pass coverage
I think
guy.
Collins is definitely going to have a pick tonight. That's my little bold prediction.
Yeah, I'll make a little comparison with Collins here. It's bold, but I feel like he's kind of like a Sean Taylor type player with the way he hits people.
I love it. I love it. You can almost even compare him to. I think in the future you can almost compare him maybe to Brian Dawkins or John Lynch. The way this guy hits is almost like a linebacker. He runs at you full force. He's not going for the legs. He's going for your body. That's why I said
Terrell Thomas because Terrell Thomas. I think he played linebacker in high school actually. So
he's not going to just dive at your legs. He's going to try to wrap and punch that ball out and hit you hard.
Smith, how's that lizard?
Oh, dude, I killed him, man, with a 9-iron. I was going to bring out the 6-iron, but no.
He's going to bring out the 6-iron.
Oh, Smitty, by the way, when you come back, bro, I was hitting bombs the other day.
Bombs.
I was hitting bombs.
Nah, dude, no one hits the ball as far as Moore, though. Guy hits frickin' bombs.
Absolutely.
You hear that?
Absolutely.
You hear that?
All right,
Not
Smith.
the other day. But yeah.
All right, man.
All right, Smith. Enjoy Zona. All right, we'll talk to you later, man.
All right, man.
All right, take care. So, yeah. The Colts play was abysmal. We're not going to get into that too much because you can't say much about it except that it was a bad call. We'll talk more about the Giants later. I want to go back to the Mets, though, and I want to talk about Curtis Granderson. Did you see the graphic that TBS had last night showing his career?
Yeah, I did.
Unbelievable. That made me realize that Curtis Granderson is one of the most underrated players in the league. He's not going to be a Hall of Famer, but he is one of the smartest and most versatile players, now that I think about it, I really have ever seen. His stint in Detroit, stolen base guy. His stint with the Yankees, back-to-back 40 home run seasons. Now with the Mets, he's a non-base percentage guy. We were complaining that Curtis Granderson was the leadoff hitter for this team back in April, May, even June and July. And what does he do? 91 walks this year, a new career high. Getting on base in this postseason. The guy has been an unbelievable leadoff hitter, and he's hitting for average. Sure, his power numbers aren't too high, but that's what happens when you go to Citi Field. And Curtis Granderson has been unbelievable for this Mets team.
I mean, Kevin Long had a very, very big impact on Curtis Granderson, and it just helps more that he went basically with him to the Mets. Like you said, he had his career high stolen bases in Detroit. He goes over to the Yankees, career high home runs. Now he's with the Mets. Now he's hitting for average. He's the leadoff hitter that the Yankees, I think, wanted. Now he's got, I believe, he had a walk. He had a walk last night. You can even look at this postseason, and you could expect a walk from him. You're not going to find an at bat where Curtis Granderson is swinging at the first pitch anymore. This guy is at least having 4 or 5 good pitches, I might add, thrown to him by these pitchers, and you kind of have to work around him now. You can't just go at him because he's going to swing at the ball if it's a strike. His eye is just exceptional. Watching him last night, Ryan, balls that could have been called strikes but were like a fraction, wasn't swinging at it because he just has the eye now to pick and choose where to swing, when to swing. I mean, he's just a different hitter than what we've seen him trying to just launch balls out of Yankee Stadium.
He's still a strikeout machine. He had 151 in the regular season, 141 last year. So actually, he struck out more despite everything else going up. But batting average went from 227 to 259, all in the regular season. On base percentage, 226 to 364. Slugging, 398 to 457. Home runs, 20 to 26. Ribbies, 66 to 70. And stolen bases, he had 11 this year. He got caught stealing 6 times, so not a great success rate. But his first year in the contract, he struggled. And you know what? That's normal. And then I think Kevin Long came to the Mets, and Kevin Long said, listen, you're going to be in the leadoff slot, and you have to start hitting like a leadoff guy. And you know what? When Curtis Granderson was hitting 40 home runs, that was the type of play that you were going to get. You were going to get a guy who batted 220. Let's look at his Yankee stats. 260, 232, 229, 247. But he had 24 home runs, 41 home runs, 43 home runs, and then he only played in 60 games in 2013 because he was hurt. But Curtis Granderson has really been one of the more underrated players of this team. And you know what? He stepped it up big time in as the leadoff hitter. Where is he ranking walks? Is this is definitely a career high. I know that.
Yeah, but those going back to the strikeouts, you said he had more strikeouts this year. But you're going to find that when you take more pitches. Mm-hmm. Look at any leadoff hitter. You want to make the pitcher get to you. Hopefully, like one of my coaches in high school when I was batting leadoff for a little bit, he said, "I want to see you try to get to a 3-2 count in your first at bat of the game." So when you're taking these pitches and you're seeing how the pitcher works, you're the first guy going up there. You might have more strikeouts. But Curtis Granderson is definitely focusing on how he can help his team with each at-bat, whether that is him striking out but also showing what the pitcher may or may not do. There's a lot of things that go into being a leadoff hitter, and it's a crucial spot in that lineup. So Curtis Granderson definitely doing a good job of that in the postseason so far.
Let's take a quick look at the series overall. The Mets are up 2-0, and both games at Citi Field were freezing cold. And that did not stop Harvey on Saturday night. It did not stop Syndergaard last night. And now you have DeGrom throwing tomorrow night. And I've said it time and time again. Game 3 is the most important game of any series. Well, guess what? The Mets have Jacob DeGrom going Game 3. If Game 7 is necessary, you have Jacob DeGrom going Game 7. Jacob DeGrom made me realize that he is the ace of this pitching staff back on Thursday night, Game 5 in L.A. He shut out the Dodgers twice in Los Angeles, and he said the two biggest games he's ever thrown. The two biggest games he's ever thrown, and he let up, 3 combined earned runs in both of those games? He let up 2 in Game 5. Did he even let up 1 in Game 1?
I think
he let up 1 in Game 1.
Oh, Game 1, he had no ERA.
There you go.
I remember that from one of the updates. But these Mets pitchers, not only just DeGrom, but Syndergaard and Harvey, they just have a different demeanor on the mound. Mm-hmm. They're on the mound, and me and Mike were saying, they look like madmen. They're not blinking. They're just zoned in.
Well, Syndergaard looks like he's...
Oh, yeah. Syndergaard's on a different platform.
He's like cracked out.
But...
he's like foaming out of the mouth. When he does. Whoa.
But they loved it. These young guys, they're like, this is the postseason. I'm going to pitch my best. And they have tunnel vision going into that catcher's glove. So I love that Jacob DeGrom has solidified himself as the ace, in my opinion. But you have Matt Harvey, who can also be your ace. You have Syndergaard, who can definitely be an ace on several teams. You have these great young pitchers giving it their best during these games, and it's just a lot of fun to watch them. And this Game 3, I think it's a turning point for these Mets. If they win this game, no doubt whoever's going to the World Series on the AL should definitely watch.
Beast of the East on WRPR 90.3 FM. Ryan Morick and Scott Thompson here with you in Studio A, Ramapo College of New Jersey. Feel free to call in and talk to us, 201-825-1234. That's the number, 201-825-1234. Good timing. We got someone calling in. Who's this? Where are you from?
What's up, guys? It's George.
Hey, what's up?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, fam.
If the Mets do make the World Series, would you take Steven Matz out of the rotation, go to 3 guys, and make sure your best pitchers are pitching as much as possible?
No, and here's why. Because the rotation is fine as it is right now. There's no need to take out Steven Matz. It's not that he's not been struggling. He's been throwing pretty well. He's giving you what you need. Sure, you need a lot more in the postseason, and let alone a World Series game. But give those guys rest, because right now, everyone except for with the exception of Harvey's first outing in the postseason, they're all throwing 6 or 7 plus innings. And keep in mind, these guys throw hard. They've all had Tommy John, so you know they're going to be looking out for them in some way, shape, or form. So, and it's not like Matz is a guy like Nice or Cologne where you really have to decide, should we throw him, should we sit him? Matz is a solid pitcher. I think you keep him in. If it's not broken, there's no need to fix it.
Ryan, I'm actually going to not disagree with you, but I'll disagree with you when he throws in Chicago. If he has a bad game in Chicago, I think you
then you have to think
I think you take him out of the lineup. These
exactly
Royals,
what I was gonna
these
say.
Royals or Blue Jays, whoever you play, these teams just pick apart pitchers. And if Matz can't do what Syndergaard and DeGrom have been doing by going at these hitters and showing that they have the stuff, if Matz can't do that, I don't think you take the chance and throw him in games like Game 4 of a series that can be so crucial, turning point, switching momentum. So, in my opinion, I think Game 4 is a big outing for Steven Matz.
I think it all depends on how many games this series is. If this series somehow goes into 7 games, you're going to have to put Matz in because there's no way DeGrom, Syndergaard, and Harvey are starting 6 games out of 18 or so. And let's say the series ends Wednesday night. If the Mets wind up sweeping them, then the Mets have a good 5 or 6 days off. DeGrom will start Game 1 if they end it in 4, 5, or 6 games. So you have DeGrom throwing either Game 7 of this series or Game 1 of the World Series, depending on how often he throws in the bullpen. Because you know DeGrom's going to probably be available from the bullpen in Game 5.
Yeah.
So with Matz, I say leave him in. I agree with you. Leave him in until he really fails.
George, you think the same thing?
I think, okay, so his first start, he went, 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, right?
Yeah.
Matz?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's like, I mean, that's not a bad start, but playoff start, you're most likely not winning with that start in the playoffs, especially since the Mets bullpen really isn't that good.
And they showed up last night, though, or the night before. They really showed up big time.
Because do you know what I like? It's if you decide, if you make it to the World Series, if you decide to put Matz in the bullpen, it's a very good backup for if DeGrom or Harvey or Syndergaard have a little hiccup, and you have a guy that you know can definitely give you innings. You can just toss him in there without even thinking about it, because we've seen that Syndergaard late on can get a little iffy, starts walking people. So Steven Matz has proved that he can pitch innings, but I think this Game 4 coming up this Wednesday is definitely a big game for Steven Matz to see if he can stay in this lineup.
Yeah, I think if he pitches a bad game, Game 4, then I think you don't let him pitch in the World Series.
Absolutely. You're not going to take a chance. So every game you have to really focus on what you want to do to make your team win. And if Terry Collins doesn't believe that Steven Matz can pitch, then that's the case.
But if Matz has to, despite what he does tomorrow, if he has to, depending on how long the series goes, he's going to have to throw.
Yeah. I mean,
He'd probably throw Game 4, because that would be right in the middle, and that way Harvey, DeGrom, and Syndergaard can all throw twice.
Absolutely. Because if they go up, let's say, if they make the World Series and they go up 2-1.
2-1. I don't want to say you can afford to lose a game.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Who won the All-Star game? AL, right?
AL.
Yeah, so.
That sucks. Last question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you think the Mets' odds are to win the World Series?
Right now?
I think they have the best odds out of the 4 major teams, to be completely honest with you.
Right now, with Daniel Murphy hot and these pitchers throwing the way they are, I think the Mets, out of all 4 teams, have the best odds to win the World Series right now.
Do you think they'll do it?
I don't know. I think they have the best odds.
Yeah.
I'm still going with.
I don't want to jinx it.
I don't believe in jinxes.
I do.
I'm still going with one of the American League teams. I still think the Blue Jays are the best team out of the 4 remaining. But again, the Mets have the rotation. That's all you have. That's all you have to say. The Mets
defense
have
wins
the
championships.
rotation.
And if they have the better rotation, I think that George. I think that. You know what? I'm just gonna say that they're gonna win the World Series this year.
And you know,
I'm gonna go out and say they're gonna win the World Series this year, just based on the way they're playing. A postseason team that plays like this, we've seen it. Like the Giants, they just don't stop.
Yeah.
They just keep going. They just keep on going. So right now they're the Giants of last year.
Yep.
And I think they're going to win it.
And you know what?
Royals,
I'm
Matt.
going to play devil's advocate against myself. The Blue Jays actually have really been struggling in the division
David
series. They were
Price
down.
can't fuck. Oh, sorry.
They were. David Price is really.
I'm getting heated here.
He's been
David Price just can't find a win.
Yep.
It's hard to come back from 2-0 too. So you're most likely it's going to be Royals Mets. I mean, they're both up 2-0.
Yeah.
So
All right.
All right. George, take care. We'll see you later.
Thanks, George.
We got someone else calling in. Who's this? Where you from?
this is Jimmy Friel from Old Bridge.
Jimmy! It's about time you called, man.
Yeah. So I want your opinion on who you think is the best pitcher in the postseason for this Mets vs. Cubs series.
What do you mean, my opinion on the Mets Cubs series? How it's been? How who's going to win?
I
What
want
do
to
you
know
want?
I want to know your opinion. Who you think is the most valuable pitcher in the series?
The most valuable pitcher in the series?
Yeah. Who you think has to go out and dominate every single time for each game for one of the other teams to be successful?
The bullpen. Anyone from the bullpen, because Arrieta, let's face it, the Mets had to win last night, and they did. Because usually with these starters, with the exception of Arrieta last night, you get what you are expecting. And Arrieta has not been throwing well since the postseason.
No.
You know what you're going to get from Syndergaard and Harvey and DeGrom and Matz, and usually Lester and Arrieta. Both bullpens, you really don't know. So those are the people who really need to step it up and find a way to get these guys out. And last night, I forgot what game it was. What was that?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard something. But I think it was last night. We finally saw this Mets bullpen go to work. We saw Addison Reed. We saw Tyler Clippard. We saw Familia. And we saw Jonathan Neese. And they all pitched very well. And with a 4-1 lead, with that Mets bullpen, with how notorious they are for blowing leads, that was a question. And they shut everyone up for now. So
I'm going to tell you my pitcher, Jimmy. I'm going to go with Jacob deGrom. I think Jacob deGrom proved in the Dodger series that he was the pitcher that had to come out. This is the Mets' first postseason since 2006, all that hype, and he put his money where his mouth was, basically, and pitched well, and he's been doing it ever since. So if the Mets make the World Series, Jacob deGrom is my pitcher that needs to go out and pitch and show again on Game 1 that he needs to throw well, and we'll see in Game 3 what he can do.
Jimmy, how's Ryder?
Ryder is great.
Solid.
Awesome. Now, who, in your opinion, is the best pitcher in the Mets rotation? Because I think my favorite is Syndergaard. I think he is the most dominant pitcher in their rotation right now.
I always said Harvey up until Game 5 of the division series. I said Harvey, because I think he has the fastball and he has everything else with it. But for whatever reason, deGrom has been absolutely untouchable. And, I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I'll change my mind in a week. But right now I say Jacob deGrom because he has had 2 postseason starts, and you know he was nervous. He's playing for the Mets, who haven't played in a postseason in 9 years. The 2 biggest games he's ever pitched, and he's let up 2 combined earned runs in both of those starts, and both of those runs were in the first inning of Game 5.
I'm going to absolutely agree with you. Noah Syndergaard, Jimmy, has been great.
And dialed in.
Great. But innings 1 through 5, he's been great. He loses it at the end because I think he's just so hyped that he's
Gas.
you see he's tossing out his arm 100 through those innings, and then he starts to get a little iffy around. So that's why I say Jacob deGrom, who can definitely throw a complete game, still holding that 98 fastball. So
deGrom has
right now Jacob deGrom, but like me and Ryan were saying before, this Mets rotation is just
we can change our mind next
right
week.
now. We could say Matt Harvey the next day and Noah Syndergaard the next day too. So
I thought Syndergaard coming out of the bullpen against the Dodgers in Game 5.
So smart.
Pretty impressive.
So smart. We loved it. We were hoping we saw him again in the 8th. We were
I still
scared.
think he should have, but it doesn't matter anyway.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but we were a little nervous why Familia was going to throw 6 out saves, but
Yeah, I think they should. It doesn't matter, but I thought they should have kept him in.
Yeah, they should have kept him in. Batter by batter in the 8th, and then have him in the 9th.
Now, one last thing. Daniel Murphy, free agent after this postseason. Should the Yankees sign him? And if so, should they give him the money that he is obviously going to get because the postseason he's putting on? But I feel that this is just a one-and-done type thing. You know, everyone has their postseason moment, or every year they have that one.
I'm going to stop you right there. One and done thing with this streak, absolutely, because no one puts this up.
I'm a Yankees fan, but
But you have to remember, Daniel Murphy hit 150 in April, and then maybe a combined 200, 210 before the All-Star break. Look at what he's done post All-Star break, and look at what he did last year. Last year he was top 20 in the National League in batting average. He batted 289. And his average post All-Star break has to be over 300. And you know what? Look at the Yankees' second baseman right now. There are 7 of them. Petit, Refsnyder, Drew, who's a free agent, Ackley, Pereira. They have so many guys, and they're not set on one. I think they should definitely go after Daniel Murphy. But if they don't get him, they don't get him. It's fine because they have Refsnyder and Pereira in the minors. So,
you think they should put out that money for him, though?
Jimmy, I'm going to say yes. Daniel Murphy.
no.
Daniel Murphy will love Yankee Stadium. That short porch he will take absolute advantage of. So whether he can play the outfield, he's a utility guy. You can put him anywhere. You can put him at first base if Teixeira gets hurt again, knock on wood. You can put him at third base if Headley gets hurt. You can even, in my opinion, I think you start him over Chase Headley right now. Right now, if you were to get the Daniel Murphy in the postseason right now, I don't think it's a one-and-done streak. This guy's a different player now. Since the postseason, since the All-Star break, this guy has flicked the switch in his head. He's turned it up a gear. And I think that you can take Daniel Murphy, put him in the Yankees lineup, and have a great player that produces, especially at home. I think he would take advantage of that short porch without a doubt.
I'm not against getting him, but the Yankees do it all the time. They pick up someone, they don't produce, off the deck, and they're just gonna. They have the money, but I don't think he's worth what he's going to get.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think Steven Drew's gone after this year, hopefully.
Jimmy, quick stats for you. April, he batted 198. He turned it up in the month of May, 330. Month of June, 389. July, he fell back off. August, 311. September, 298. This guy can hit. And you know what? He's not a power hitter, but he will be a power hitter if he plays in Yankee Stadium.
I understand where you're coming from. I understand that. Now, who do you guys have? Who do you guys have in the World Series? And who do you guys have winning it? Not who you want to win. Who do you think is going to win?
I have Mets, Blue Jays. No. I did have Mets, Blue Jays, but Blue Jays are down 2-0. I'm just going to go with both leaders of the series right now. I'm going Mets, Royals. And I think the Mets would absolutely beat the Royals. For some weird reason, I think the Royals are overrated. I don't know why. I just think they are.
I don't think the Royals are overrated, but I'm going to say Mets-Royals. I think the Royals can definitely look at this Mets team and say this is what we were last year. A young team trying to put our name back on the map. And I'm going to say Mets-Royals, Mets in 6. I think that this rotation is definitely going to go at the Royals. Hitters, they're not really going to find any.
And we both want the Mets to win, by the way.
Yeah, we really want the Mets to win, but I honestly think...
I know you don't want the Mets to win.
Statistically and looking at everything, the Mets are going to win the World Series this year.
I see where you're coming from. I even think... I said this in the beginning. I said if they win the first series in the playoffs, I said they're going to go to the World Series with their bullpen. For me, it was either hit or miss. I thought they were just going to put on and just run the playoffs up until the World Series, then anything can happen in the World Series. Or I thought the hype was going to get to the young pitchers and they might choke, but obviously they didn't. I'm also a big supporter of the Dodgers, so I was pretty upset about that. Now, Marcus Stroman, huge fan of him. What do you guys think?
Stroman, I don't know. I haven't seen much. I haven't seen much of him. I want to see more of him. I haven't really paid much attention to him. So
I think he's set in the making, and he's 5.
I know you love Stroman.
I love him.
All right, Jimmy. I hate to break this up, but we do have a lot to talk about, and you've been on here for like 10 minutes.
Because you never have me on your show. But
Yeah, because you never call. That's
Keep
not my
calling.
fault.
Keep calling. We'll still
No,
have
I
you.
mean, I want to be in the studio, talk baseball. I said this last year around the World Series time. Put me in the studio because I know baseball.
Hey, come up to the Poe. I will let you in here. Let's go.
I'm busy at the Bronx Zoo right now, though. Go Ryder, Maury. Have a great rest of your show.
Thank you. All right. All right, I'll talk to you later.
I'll see you.
So Mets in 6, that's your prediction?
That's my prediction. I honestly think that the Mets in 6. Unfortunately, it won't be at Citi Field, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But doesn't matter.
Yep.
You see a lot of Mets fans out in Kansas City, I think.
6:39, Scotty T. Go ahead.
All right. Wait 1 second. I like getting my music queued up, right?
I have it on the computer, man.
You do?
You don't hear it?
No. Now I do. There we go. All right. Round pool updates. Great women's soccer game this past weekend as the Roadrunners almost beat the undefeated TCNJ Lions in double OT. Gabrielle DiLiberto had the lone goal for the ladies in regular time, but the Lions put away the golden goal in the second OT of the game. Goalkeeper Jessica Cusick had 12 saves. Lady Roadrunners will return to action when they travel to Montclair State Wednesday to play the Hawks at 7 p.m. Men's soccer also lost to TCNJ 4-2 this past Saturday. Justin Olaya and Jorge Castro scored the 2 goals for the Roadrunners. Roadrunners are now 7-7-2 overall and 1-5-1 in the conference. They will travel to Western Connecticut State tomorrow for a night game at 7 p.m. In the professional world, we've been talking about the Red Hot Mets for the first. Yeah, I know. I got a little.
It's all right.
Choked up right there. Red Hot Mets won again last night, as we said, 4-1. Lit up Jake Arrieta for 3 runs in the first inning, partially thanks to another dinger from Daniel Murphy. Syndergaard threw 5.2, that's 5 2/3 innings, giving up 3 hits and an earned run while also striking out 9. Bullpen was sturdy. We haven't been seeing that, Ryan. But the Mets came out with the 4-1 win. They'll play the Cubs tomorrow night, Wrigley Field, Game 3. 8:07 first pitch, Jacob deGrom on the bump. New York Jets beat the Redskins at home yesterday at MetLife, 34-20. Chris Ivory with another stellar game, rushing 20 times for 146 yards and a TD. Ryan Fitzpatrick threw for 253 yards, 2 TDs, and also ran into the end zone. What was that, George? 26-yard run? Some long run for him, right?
Oh, Fitzpatrick?
Fitzpatrick, yeah.
21-22, yeah.
Yeah, that was a great run by him. Jets will also have a chance to prove that they are a top team in the league as they will travel to Foxborough to take on Tom Brady and the undefeated Patriots this upcoming Sunday. That'll be a fun 1 p.m. game to watch. And the game we're all watching tonight, Giants-Eagles, rivalry game at Lincoln Financial in Philly. Eli Manning looks to further his fine play coming off of a record-breaking week against the Niners last Sunday. Odell Beckham is expected to play tonight. He rode on the bus. He will suit up, so look for him to be in that lineup tonight. Ryan Moore, Scott Thompson on WRPR 9.3 FM. You listen to Beasts of the East. We'll be back after these few messages.
Do we even have to do this?
No, we really don't have to.
We
because
kinda don't have to,
a
but it is the
consensus.
Scotty T, who's your piece of the week?
Who's our Beast of the Week, you
Our
mean?
piece of the week. This is the first time we actually ever picked the same person for Beast of the Week.
You can say it all at the same time. One, two, three. Daniel Murphy.
Simple.
Simple. That's the only way it goes. Daniel Murphy just red hot in this postseason, sparking the Mets offense. How many home runs did you say before?
5 home runs in
5 home
7
runs.
games. He's never had 5 home runs in a calendar month.
Simple.
Stupid.
Beast of the Week, Daniel Murphy. Next.
All right, next. So, it's been a while since we've had a show together, and something happened. What was it? Last Wednesday?
What happened?
The LDS? I texted you about it.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So
Jose-
Jose Batista. Yesterday was his birthday, so I figured this is a nice thing to talk about. He had the epic bat flip that we all know about. It's been a hot topic, I guess. Do you like it or no?
You want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
You're not going to like it.
What do you mean I'm not going to like it?
Yes.
All right, why?
I love that. Look at any other sport, first of all. Look at the NFL. What happens after a touchdown? What happens after a sack? What happens after a first down? I love the fire that this new generation of athletes is bringing to these professional sports, because as you think that baseball might be a dying sport, these guys are saying, no way, we're going to put our flair on it. If you don't like that, so what? Hate to bring it up. Carlos Gomez puts it over the top sometimes. But he's a guy that puts it all out there. Bryce Harper, Jose Batista, just going to that bat flip. Was it a little much? Yeah, I think it was a little much. But it was in the moment. The guy wasn't thinking, throwing his bat out, looking at his team. His team was fired up after that. And I just love how this new generation of athlete is really bringing a new charisma to sports. And I do approve of what Jose Batista did that night.
Now, do you want my opinion?
Go ahead.
I loved the bat flip. I only like bat flips when they are no doubt home runs. When people flip their bats and it winds up being a double, I can't take it. You should only do a bat flip if it's a home run. The only thing I did not like was him standing in the batter's box. I think that, should you let up the home run? Obviously not. It's kind of your own fault. But standing there for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, 2 seconds. What's 2 seconds?
I think you should just hit it and go.
No. I told you what I would do if that happened.
You can watch it while running.
No, I can watch it, flip my bat, and look at my team and point at them. Because it just fired them up.
I don't care if you throw the...
That's a go-ahead home run in a postseason game.
Right. I don't care if you throw the bat in the middle of
Game 5.
I know. But come on, just run the bases.
No. I'm going to flip my bat. I'm going to look at my team.
Which is cool. Flip the... I don't care if you throw it at the pitcher.
And I'm going to be on the next premiere highlight on SportsCenter the next morning. That's me. That's what I would do.
I just don't think you should stand there and just watch it for 25 minutes.
It wasn't 25 minutes.
Oh, thanks, G.
2 seconds of glory. 2 seconds of glory in front of thousands of fans and millions watching. I'd do it. That was epic. It was epic.
And you know, you you compare it to the football and whatever. You get a sack and you run laps and celebrate like you just won the
Hit
war.
the whip and do whatever you want. I love it.
Which is cool. I get it. But football and baseball are a lot different. Baseball is a game about respect and a lot of unwritten rules. Football, you can do basically whatever you want.
Well, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to change things. Like I said, this is a new generation of athletes. These guys are looking up to their other peers in professional sports.
It makes it more okay, obviously, because it was the biggest home run since Joe Carter.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But in my opinion, I like what Jose Batista did there. I mean, you're not gonna love or hate it, but I
know what I didn't like what Jose Batista did.
What?
Game 1 of the championship series, he caught the final out of an inning. He was running in, looked over to fans, and was about to throw it into the stands and pump faked it. That you don't do.
Yeah, that
you don't do.
But I have seen that before.
Oh yeah,
I have seen that before.
Garbage.
But what he did with the bat flip, I think it was right in my opinion.
The flip was cool. That was pretty awesome.
Now I would have.
What was better, his or Cespedes'?
Cespedes. I love Cespedes. That was a quick flip. You let it hang there and you just walk. I love the way he did it. It was smooth.
Do you like bat drops or bat flips?
I like bat flips. Jose, if you look up Cespedes' bat flip, it was a quick little flick of the fingers. The ball thing was just flipping. You watch that in slow-mo. Oh,
Robbie Cano and Ken Griffey.
Yeah, Robbie Cano, you can definitely look at Ken Griffey Jr. and make a comparison there. I love the quick little bat drop and walk.
Low-key great bat flip?
Who?
Didi Gregorius.
Well, he does that on a ground ball to shortstop, though. I don't know if he's gonna.
He had one. He hit one in the middle deck, and he finished and then just flicked. It was just cool. How about my bat flip when I struck out with 2 men on yesterday? I don't even want to talk.
My golf swing.
Your golf swing.
My golf swing is forever cemented into me. I don't have a baseball swing anymore. I gave up yesterday.
It's all right. You made contact twice.
Well, but I had a nice shot to left field, but it was hit
you did.
right at the
Yeah, you did.
right at the left fielder. But oh well.
I don't want to talk about yesterday.
Oh, well.
That was a joke. So the Jets, 5-1, 4-1,
4-1.
4-1.
They had a bye.
How about that? Mets, Jets.
Todd Bowles really making this team look like what the Jets used to be, in my opinion. They were just a team looking to reconstruct. What are we going to do with Geno Smith? But even without Geno Smith putting all these pieces together, you knew that this defense was definitely going to produce this year.
Yep.
Absolutely. You take Calvin Pryor in the draft. You take Leonard Williams, who is he out still?
Leonard Williams is out, I think.
Yeah, but you still, like, this defense you knew was definitely going to produce this year, and they have lived up to the expectation. And I love how the Jets are playing on both sides of the ball. I love the New York Jets right now.
And how about Chris Ivory? Unbelievable.
Different player than last year. It's completely different.
Unbelievable.
Like I said, flicking up gears. He's in sixth gear right now, and he's not going to stop.
Besides that one game where he was hurt, and I don't even think he played more than 5 snaps that game. He's been he's the new Lynch.
He had 20 carries for 146 yards.
He's
yesterday.
unbelievable.
Last year, you knew that his stat line would be 20 carries for 60 yards,
Yep.
possibly a nice goal line stand from the other defense. It's a different Chris Ivory. Ryan Fitzpatrick definitely taking hold of this offense right now, and it's going to be geared up for when Geno Smith comes back. So we'll see what happens there.
Rugo and Rothenberg were talking about this before. You know they're like kind of sort of back on the air, Rugo and Rothenberg?
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's permanent or not, but they've been doing the 10 to 12 slot because Levitard is a joke.
I hate Dan Le Batard.
So do I. But anyway.
You ever watch his show?
Why would
on
I
ESPN?
watch? Highly questionable.
Is the
most pointless show.
Dad on TV. I'm sorry. It's just
It's the most
I
pointless
can't understand
show.
what he's saying. Bomani Jones, I think he's
Bomani Jones.
he's a cocky something I can't say on the radio.
Yeah,
For no reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway.
So they were talking about this before. Ivory, Decker, Brandon Marshall. Is that the best trio? And Brandon and George are talking about it on their show before. Is this the best trio in the NFL right now?
Who'd you say? I'm sorry.
Decker, Marshall, and Ivory. Best trio in the NFL right now, yes or no? Right now, this season. Think about it. You have Julio, Hankerson, Freeman, who are probably up there. Before, let's say they have a solid quarterback. You have Le'Veon, Martavis, if he keeps playing this well, then Antonio Brown.
You can make the debate that Gronk, Julian Edelman, and then the mix between Deion Lewis and LeGarrette Blount have also been insane for the Patriots.
Right.
But right now, if you were to look at starters and just look
Consistency?
at consistency, I think right now, yeah, you could say that Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker, and Chris Ivory have just been putting work in for that team.
I think, who else is there?
Who else can you think about? I mean, if you look at the Bengals right
Julio
now,
really has only had one. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Never mind. But he has fallen off a little bit the last couple of weeks. Brandon Marshall has had 4 100-yard games. He's the first Jet to do that since 1968.
Really?
Yes, and he was the first person. He was the first Jet to have 3 100-yard games since Al Toon, 1988.
Well, if you can look at the Bengals and say A.J. Green, Tyler Eifert, and Giovanni Bernard.
Or Jeremy Hill, yeah.
Again, Jeremy Hill can also be looked at as a trio. But right now, I just think that the Jets have figured out what they really want to do with this season. And just going forward, especially going against the Patriots, those 3 need to show out if they want to beat that team because they're going to go against Tom Brady, who's just been money, as always. And I don't know. Just right now, if you were to say trio-wise, yeah, I'd definitely pick up Marshall, Decker, and Chris Ivory.
My friend Matt and I, me, Brandon, and our 2 friends, Matt Papidi and Justin Kleinow, all good friends from high school. We were talking about this before, and I wanted to bring it up to you because I wanted to know how you felt. Would you rather watch a sporting event at home or at the actual event?
Depends.
On the sport?
When the game is.
See, I think that's stupid. I'm assuming you're going based on weather, right?
What?
Are you going like based on weather and stuff like that?
I'm going. Yeah.
Or like time.
No. All right. No, actually, I'm not going to look at it like that. Would I rather watch it there? Absolutely.
Would you rather go to the game or watch it at home?
Watch it there. Why not?
Right?
You're agreeing with me?
Yeah.
No, I'd rather watch it there. See, now other people would say, watch it at home. I get to watch the stat line. I don't have to
I
wait
don't
in
care
line
about
for
the
food.
stat line.
It's a different sense. If you're a sports fan, it's just a different sense. It's a no-brainer. Go tailgate before the game if you're watching football. If you're watching anything, tailgate, go into the game, hearing the crowd instead of hearing it a little bit over the TV or on radio. You're living with the team. You're cheering them on. It feels like you're part of the team at that time. So I love going to the game instead of staying at home. And because staying at home, I get distracted. My mom's yelling at me. I have to put my laundry in. Yeah, it's just I'd rather go to the game, not worry about anything else, and cheer my team on.
See,
that's my opinion.
Yeah, you said it before. Like, people go there to see stat lines and the replays and all that. I don't go to the game.
I get that on the Jumbotron if I want to look at it.
Exactly. I don't go to the game to look at stats. I go to the game to go insane. And you know what? My friend Matt
And
was
he
saying,
really does go insane.
Oh, yeah. My friend Matt, you pumped for the Devil game tomorrow?
Yeah, actually. Devils Coyotes.
I'm pumped.
Great game.
Great game, man. Devils going for a big win yesterday, man.
Jeez, it's about time. But I kind of expected that from the Devils to start this.
Yeah, it's about time.
But anyway.
Can you stop?
Jeez.
Stop talking. Both of you, man. You guys are ridiculous. I'm recording on my computer. They can hear every word you're saying.
Hands up.
Yeah, I'm sure about that. These people, man, unbelievable.
Invite them in. It's like inviting someone in your house. You're not going to just break stuff and walk away, right? Mike and George. Anyway.
Mike and George. Would you rather listen to the show or be in the studio to watch the show?
How about that? We'll bring you guys on. You want to talk?
Go ahead. Not on the microphone. You lost your privileges. You lost your...
No, he didn't. Give him the mic. He has his own show on here, too.
So? He showed up at 4:59 today. His show starts at 5 o'clock.
Did you miss the show?
No.
Did you miss it?
No, thank you, Scott.
Perfect.
Anyway, I think you're discussing Brandon when you're saying be at sporting events or not, because I know Brandon would rather sit.
It was actually more Matt. Brandon touched
too.
on it a little bit.
But especially the Mets right now, I'd love to be at the game rather than sit home and watch it. But when you're talking about football, he means the 1 o'clock games. He would rather watch the Giants game, and it's because he wants to watch Red Zone.
I told Brandon. Brandon said that in the group chat. I literally said that's completely fine because you don't want to miss any action.
But if it's just one game, if only the Mets are playing right now, I'd obviously rather be at the Mets game than watch it on TV. It's nuts being there. Why wouldn't you want to be there?
Yeah, but my friend Matt literally said, he was like, you can't see the first down marker. The yellow line's not there. First of all, the yellow line is unofficial.
There's a big orange pole on the sideline.
Believe me, that's what I said.
You can tell.
That's what I said. And he was like, the yellow line gives me a good idea. Count to 10. There are hash marks on the field for a reason. You can't see the yellow line. Oh, well, you're sitting at an angle. The same line's there. Unbelievable.
I'd rather be there. By the way, big news. My aunt gave me big news today.
Your aunt gave you big news?
George.
Yes.
Jets Giants. I'm sitting Coaches Club.
Coaches Club?
Wow.
I'm pumped. I'm really pumped. But she told me that I didn't know how to answer. 3 tickets, my cousin and my aunt. All right. Anyway, sorry. Little scroungers.
I've been in there before because my mom's boss.
Can you see? Are there players just walking back and forth?
They walk. They go into the tunnel through the Coach Club. They all walk right by you. You can go. There's a little area where you can walk out on the field.
So I can hit the.
You're barriered off, but you can high five all them stuff like that.
I can hit the folks at Odell.
Yeah, and any food you could think of is in there.
I'll take a video of that for you. I want to see if he does it with me.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Anyway,
Coleman, before we get out of here, Giants Eagles tonight in Lincoln Financial Field. We touched on it a little bit before. I think the Giants lose this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they won, obviously. But the Giants defense has continued to struggle in the fourth quarter. They've let up 99 points on the season, 64 of them in the fourth quarter. And Philly's finally slowly getting back on the right track. DeMarco Murray's finally breaking out of the shell. No Prince Amukamara. Odell is still hurt. He hasn't practiced all week. I'm not expecting anything big out of Odell. Sure, Eli has been targeting a lot of guys. I think if the Giants want to win, they have to do what they did last week, and that's have Eli throw for at least 35, 40 attempts. And last week he threw 55. I think he has to throw at least 35 times.
The key for the Giants tonight, you have to stop DeMarco Murray. Plain and simple, he had a great game last week. Devin Kennard out, who's been a great linebacker for the Giants so far, even though, the defense has been giving up, the leads and stuff like that. But you stop DeMarco Murray tonight, you definitely get the win. I don't see Sam Bradford throwing that well against this defense, honestly.
Really?
I just don't think that he has the tools around him to have
Neither do I,
great
but I think
offense.
Giants' pass defense is pretty terrible.
I don't think it's that bad. Landon Collins has shown improvement. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie has shown improvement.
But now they don't have Prince Amukamara. Their linebackers are a joke, especially
Tremaine McBride has been showing improvement.
McBride has played very well, but their linebackers are really bad.
You just got to give him some time. I just don't think that DeMarco Murray can have a good game this week. Tonight. I just don't think that he can have a good... If he rushes for more than 75, 80 yards, it's done. It's the Eagles win.
The game's going to rely a lot on DeMarco Murray, but remember, the Giants cannot play in the fourth. Their defense...
Well, we'll see what Spagnuolo might have put into them this week, but it's definitely a reoccurrence that needs to be halted. Plain and simple. So you definitely have to look for the Giants tonight, if they have that fourth quarter lead, to see Steve Spagnuolo firing up their defense and to just be on them to make sure that you stop the ball.
Yep. My prediction, I think both of them are going to throw a lot.
Okay.
I think actually, no, I shouldn't say that. I think DeMarco's going to have a lot of carries. I think who will have more of what? Bradford completions or DeMarco Murray carries?
DeMarco Murray carries, in my opinion. You look at the Giants' defense.
He should run the ball at least 20, 25 times.
You look at that defense, you look at the linebackers, and you see that you're basically your main linebacker who has been, in there. Is John Beeson playing tonight?
He'll play for the first series, and then he'll probably get hurt, and then he'll...
Yeah, but anyway,
Questionable.
you can look at that defense and say, okay, we have a star running back. We need to run the ball. Plain and simple. You can't throw more to guys like Jordan Matthews. Sorry, but these guys aren't big-time receivers. These aren't guys that you can trust, in my opinion, so far.
Aguilar's out, too. Not that he's played well.
Aguilar's out.
So I just think that DeMarco Murray's definitely going to get more
I think the
carries
two
tonight.
biggest things are DeMarco Murray and the Giants' defense. That's simple.
Those are the two catalysts.
Again, wouldn't be surprised if the Giants won, but...
I said 21-20 before. I'm going to stick with that. 21-20.
I'm going to say...
Because these guys just can't finish drives.
Philly's favored by 3.5.
Definitely taking that line. Did you take that line?
I took the Giants plus 3.5. It's
Attaboy.
actually my favorite bet of the week.
I would take... I think the Eagles are going to win.
George pulling the thumb tonight with the Giants. Love it.
Pulling the thumb. I don't know. That's going to be tough, though.
What do you think? What's your prediction?
I'm just going to throw it out there. I'll go 31-27 Eagles. I don't know.
You could watch it in the other room.
Never
Anyway.
31-27. I don't know what I'm thinking. We'll go like 27, 21, 24. I don't know.
All right. Good show. I like debating with you.
Me too, man. That was good.
That's all right. I don't mean it. I do mean it, though.
Beast to the East, Ryan Warwick and Scott Thompson. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We'll see you back on Wednesday night. It is not goodbye. To see you later. Take care, everybody.